4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music.
This is Movies First with Alex First.
In The Big Short, writer and director Adam McKay laid bare the Wall Street chicanery that led to the greatest financial collapse since the Great Depression. In Vice, he sets his sights on another true story, that of one of the most elusive and secretive minds in modern American political history, Richard Bruce Dick Cheney. Spanning a half-century, Cheney's complex journey from rural Wyoming electrical worker to de facto President of the United States is a darkly comic and often unsettling look at the use and misuse of institutional power. Guided by his formidable and unfailingly loyal wife, Lynn, Amy Adams, and mentored by the brusque and blustery Donald Rumsfeld, Steve Carell, Cheney, as played by Christian Bale, insinuated himself into the fabric of Washington, D.C. He started at the time of the Nixon administration, became White House Chief of Staff under Gerald Ford, and after 5 terms in Congress, Secretary of Defense for George H.W. Bush. In 2000, he left his position as CEO of oilfield service company Halliburton to run as Vice President for George W. Bush, Sam Rockwell. That came with the implicit understanding that he'd exercise almost unchecked control, effectively a co-president in all but name. Cheney's cunning and furtive political manoeuvring altered the American political landscape, but it's clear there's more than one Dick Cheney, a man whose reputation in the public sector belies his private life and obvious devotion to his family.
You're listening to Movies First. For more, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
A heavily politicised film with a less than conventional narrative structure, it's clever but requires concentration to follow. Conspiracy theories abound in terms of who's knifing who and what political leverage they're using. An intimate knowledge of American politics would be a decided advantage. For that reason, I believe Vice will have only limited appeal in Australia. It's a most creative piece. The production values are strong, with a number of quirks in what we're shown, including still frames and photographic imagery. Because of his insular persona, it's awfully difficult, though, to get a real fix on Dick Cheney. Don't get me wrong, Bale does a fine job, but Cheney is a far from charismatic central character. Amy Adams is her usual accomplished self as Dick's dynamic and proud wife. Steve Carell has a fine time of it as Cheney's gregarious and politically incorrect mentor. Sam Rockwell, though, is given little room to grow as President George W. Bush. The use of a Dick Cheney relative as the narrator was a little touch of genius. That remark will resonate if you choose to see the film. Moving back and forth in time, Andrew McKay has woven a complex tale which suggests that Cheney was responsible for orchestrating the Iraq War. Vice scores an 8 out of 10.
You've been listening to Movies First with Alex First. Subscribe to the full podcast at Audioboom, Stitcher and iTunes, or your favourite podcast distributor. This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.